So come on in, take a sip, and let's wind down. Mein Name ist Christopher und ich freue mich sehr, Sie hier zu haben. My name is Christopher, and I'm delighted that you are here with me. And we are having a Negroni today and celebrating our 1,256th solve on Wind Down with Christopher. And for those of you who are tuned into Crosswordland, you don't see that handsome face, but rather you see mine. I'm very sorry for that. And we will get through this grid. He's got some things to take care of, and I do love our working relationship. He's always there to fill in for me and vice versa, and that's the way it's got to be. So just a little bit of solver's courage here. And from here in northern Bavaria, Germany, our wind down word of the day is abjuration. And we're talking about spending big money on food. And if you saw yesterday, saw that debacle that I got myself into with over ordering at the burger bar. We do that all the time. So it's close to gluttony, but not quite. It just means wanting the best or a lot of it. So, our community highlight real quick. I love going through and checking out everybody. If you subscribe to the channel, I actually automatically subscribe back. And then when time permits, I like to go around and see what kind of content our community is creating out there in their specific individual communities. And I always get a kick out of that. But I had to just throw a quick shout out to Florina's Coloring. Small channel, one video up, but she has an exceptional book review of Rebecca Yaros's The Last Letter. I listened to that review and I thought to myself, I'm not even a romantic fiction kind of guy, but now I got to read this book. Of course, my wife was downloading it as I was watching it. She's like, oh, I'm a big fan of that author. I got to give this a shot. So very cool. Love spotlighting folks in our own community who are out there creating content. There's a lot of you, and most of you have heard from me one way or the other, like, I really like this, or it's just because I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've got almost 9,000 subscribers. It takes me a while to get through them all, but I do enjoy that very much. So I would be remiss if we didn't point out today, on this day in history, 1941, 353 attack planes from the Imperial Japanese Navy attacked the U.S. fleet at Pearl Harbor, and we lost over 2,400 people in that attack, and it was essentially the ticket into World War II for the United States, and rather begrudgingly so. And I, for people like me who saw the same type of thing happen on 9/11, I know within days of 9/11, 2001, I was standing in front of an Army officer recruiter. So I get it. It changes lives completely around the globe when stuff like this happens. And so to all of those, December 7th, 1941. I want to deliver a very happy birthday to Noam Chomsky, born in 1928, and it's like his 97th birthday today. He was born in Philadelphia, and as a linguist myself and a neuroscientist, I can tell you, I think it's really, he has just done phenomenal things for all of it, and I just don't know where the linguistic community would be without Noam Chomsky's input. He has been amazing throughout the years. So happy birthday, Dr. Chomsky. Also, on this day in 1932, I want to say happy birthday to Ellen Burstyn. Wow. What a tour de force. She was born in Michigan. She has an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony. I don't know who's responsible for handing out Grammys, but we just need to give her at least an honorary Grammy so she can have an EGOT. It wouldn't make any sense to only have an EOT. So we got to get that. That fourth award in there, right? The EGOT, the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony for her. And Tom Waits. Happy birthday to Tom Waits, born in 1949. Just like my dad and many of my friends. It's a great year to be born, including Christopher Hitchens, one of my lifelong idols. He used to always say on C-SPAN when I was a child, he said, I was born in 1949. Yes, he was. And one really amazing public intellectual he was. And looking here, lastly, in 1989, I want to say happy birthday to Nicholas Hoult. He was born in England, and if you'll remember, if those of us who are like huge J.R.R. Tolkien fans, he actually played Tolkien, the younger Tolkien, during World War I and then post-World War I in the movie Tolkien, and did a phenomenal job, and I felt like I really was looking at the author. So that said, let's go ahead and get into our grid and see what we've got going today. It's like this little, I got this thing I do, right? Like I know that's when I'm ready to do the grid. I try to sit up. It's short-lived posture, but I do try to sit up, and it's, I don't know, it's like being Mr. Rogers and you come in and you got to get out of your jacket and you got to put your sweater on. That's kind of what it feels like for me. I just kind of adjust my chair and here we go. But we have Kate Jensen's debut Times puzzle, which comes with, and I quote here, a cavalcade of luminaries. So maybe we got ourselves a challenging Sunday, and I would love nothing more than that. So, the name of this grid is Original Thinkers, and let's get into it for our brand new debut constructor, Kate Jensen. Always love that. Love that. So, fancy dues. Galas? I don't know. Are we talking about like a gala? Or are we talking about like an updo or something? I don't know. Let's see what we got going on here. Solos at a party. Well, I'd say stags, but we only got 4 letters. Bit of letter-shaped hardware. Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. Oh, there we go. 2 literal luminaries. Victoria-era prescription for melancholy. All right, this is great. We're not even setting an anchor yet, and we've already gone now. This is going to be good. The duck in Peter and the Wolf, and I thought that was Sonia. Okay. Future birthplace of Captain Kirk. Well, this is a tough one, too, because I think he was born in Ames, Iowa. Or is to be born in Ames, Iowa. I don't know how you... okay. Pest whose name is a homophone for what you might do when you see it. Gone to great lengths. Okay. Well, we got to find something to do here. Rock climbers handhold. Could be a crag. Now, I don't know about any of you, but now I immediately start asking myself, is it a C or a K? When's the last time you spelled out crag intentionally? Never? So, dictionary tag is felt strongly. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to just guess on that one. Samuel Morse, okay. Bite down hard. Lake that's home to the world's largest freshwater island, and I do believe we are going up to Huron. That much I think I know. I don't want to say I do, but bite down hard could be to chomp, 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 chomp. Everybody said it was a shame, 'cause mama was a-working on a chain gang. Was it Poke Salad Annie? Gators got you granny, chomp, 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 something like that. I mean, terrible song, really. Harper Valley PTA. We're just musical over here in this little quadrant. Suffix with hypn. Let's go with otic. Making ourselves hypnotic. And what do we got? Musical tool popularized by T-Pain. And is this an A? What we got going on here? Sets of points in math could be foci. Personification of England, Scotland, and Wales. And I do believe we're talking about Britannia. And I got to tell you, I have spent so much time in the UK, and I am just so enamored with the entire All of it. Great Britain. I need to spend more time in Scotland and Ireland, and of course, but yes, all of the UK. I've been all through England, parts of Wales, but I've got to get up to Northern Ireland, and then of course to Ireland and to Scotland. So, like beds on lazy Saturdays. Why don't we go with unmade to see if we can make some sort of progress here? I always take it a little easy at first. I don't want to get crazy, especially on a Sunday, because I don't want to fat finger something and then try to find it. So oldest independent state in the Arab world would be Oman. That I feel pretty confident in too. TV tavern visited by Mayor Quimby. I'm assuming we're going to the hiccups again. We're going to Moe's from The Simpsons. So... And giving blank up the chimney he rose. Oh, giving a nod. We're talking about Father Christmas, are we? That's right, because I was born in 1949. Sir Isaac Newton. Musical. Oh, so this is the auto tuner. Okay, makes sense. And Kofi Annan. She sheds counterpart. I guess we're talking about a man cave here. I mean, it sounds like it. Oui, non, ja, nein. So we got the French yes, no, and the German yes, no too. I love that. Oui is to non, as ja is to nein. Drone or queen could be an ant, and hint could be a trace, and self-proclaimed rap god, big fan, Eminem. Oh yes, huge, noble title. How about the Earl Grantham, Lord Grantham himself, and then his mother, the Dowager Countess. Yes, indeed. Home to the Earl. I thought it was great at the end that his daughter became she married the Marquess. That's outranked all of them. It's kind of good stuff, right? But I really want to know, why didn't Thomas get at least a knighthood, if not something a little bit more maybe hereditary as a result of a thank you maybe for having saved the king's life from that major, the British Army major that was going to assassinate the king like that? I mean, really, I think we could have done something for him, right? Not just theoretical, could be real. And it runs hot. Part of a wooden bench could be a slat. So I'm assuming it runs hot, or like some floors, lava. Yes, floors are lava. Roof overhang could be an eave. Encountered, maybe met. So Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung. I don't know. Like many couples at theaters. With love musically. So I think this is amoroso. But then you'd have to really get me to wonder how to spell that. Amoroso. Oh, gives a thumbs up, maybe okays. I thought the chart was going to put in a pie chart, and I thought, oh, wait a minute. No pie chart. Just wait. It did. So I think we got an org chart, and want from, maybe ask of, and what we got here? Like some nails found in a drugstore. Cuts back. Like the Red Sea after a visit from Moses. How about parted? So I'm assuming these are like maybe the Lee press-on nails, maybe? Yeah, I'm assuming. McFlurry flavor. We're usually looking for the king of Oreo fill here, right? It is just the king of the Oreo fill, right? It's just there. And, you got to respect it. A 4-letter cookie that makes its way to almost every grid, no matter what. Probably even a majority of my own constructions. So what are you going to do? So amoroso, yeah, and like many couples at theaters, maybe it could be on dates, right? You know, I don't really ever think that that's what we're. I mean, I don't know. You know, Henry Ford. Could be a driving force, and I don't see why we shouldn't at least try it. We can check ourselves and see how we're doing here. Lannister, Game of Thrones queen. Oh boy, now I gotta remember how to spell that. I think it's Circe, maybe. In other words, how about the Latin id est? That is to say, I'm sorry, I've eaten all of the plums in the icebox. Forgive me, they were so sweet and so cold. Weirdly spooky, could be eerie. Kind of nurse or suit, how about a wetsuit, wet nurse, drab color for una casa, maybe gris, maybe gray, maybe, I don't know. Trap, how about the snare? This Sunday here is not a joke. This is a seriously, for a Sunday, this is a complex grid, and I'm loving every second of it. This is really making me think, kind of like last Sunday, and these are the best days. They really are. Food and water could be needs. Bit of letter-shaped hardware. Oh, I could have sworn that was going to be an orangutan, an orang, right? No, I think we got an O-ring. And like professional publications could be edited. And so Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung looks like there could be the dream team. There was a lot of dream stuff going on from both of them. And I love Freud just because it's so interesting and his great cocktail talk chatter, right? You know, but Jung's Gestalt and the whole stream of consciousness piece, I mean, I still use this every day in my attempts to build solid cultures of safety, right? You know, like yeah. The Gestalt, look at the whole. Morning times in brief could be ante meridiems. And Genesis, no idea. Toil could be to drudge. So, vous êtes ici? Okay. Vous êtes ici. So, arrival announcement. I'm here. Give a darn again. Maybe remend. So I think I'm here. I'm here. And so the genesis could be a seed or a germ. And wish one could take back would be to regret. And that sounds awful. Ugh. Okay, got it. We still gonna have to get up there to that northwest corner at some point. We have to face the music with that one. So, don't want to let myself think I'm getting away from it. I'm not. Basic tenet of improv. If I had to guess, as I've done a lot of improv, I'm going to say yes and. Check it real quick. Farm Share Program. Is that the CSA? Gregor Mendel. I don't know. Alter as a t-shirt for a fish concert, say. This could be to tie dye. And is this a plural? Trees. They are. Commonly confused with birches. I think these would be aspens. So, and we have Birkenfelds everywhere here. Birch tree fields. So maybe a skerdiker, which is why I wanted to know if this was going to be a plural. So we got a seedy something for Gregor Mendel. I mean, because he was the seed guy, right? So cuts back could be pears. I would have never guessed that. Shoe covering could be a gator. Pied à terre. And a little home away from home. Sir Isaac Newton. Ooh, okay. I see it. Loving it. I'm hoping this is correct. Not betting on it, but I'm hoping it's a motion detector because that's awesomeness. Firmly establishes summer campers conveyance. No, dictionary tag still on that. Samuel Morse. Yeah. Sets of points. Did I put foci in? I meant loci. I mean, that's what you do there. It still doesn't help me with this, but I thought that might have been a little odd. Gone to great lengths. Okay. Does this R help? No. Don't worry. We'll guess it at some point. We will make a logical determination. But I'd almost rather always work off of an anchor. And I'm fairly certain we'll get there. If we don't, we don't. And that's just fine, too. It doesn't bother me at all. It'd be a first in a long time, and I would welcome it. I mean, really, I'm just this guy. It seems like I get lucky more often than not, or like all the time, really. But there's also a lot of, a lot of studying and stuff that goes into this stuff, right? I mean, a lifetime of studying. But no, God, it would be really a gas if I found a grid that I didn't get to solve completely. That would be funny. I would love that. It's felt strongly it could be runs deep, but it just seems pretty rare that these things happen because once you get a couple of things going, then you have anchors, right? Things to work off of. A bit of cacao could be a nib. Interestingly enough, if you look at this Mont Blanc, if you're looking at a fountain pen, that bright and shiny piece up at the top, that's also the nib on a fountain pen, right? Interesting. Yeah, I can't imagine not having a fountain pen. And I've got to say thank you to my Fati for giving me this ridiculously amazing gift one year back in Trier. We were living in that part of Germany, and we went there for the weekend and walked into an antique store, and they had this beautiful Mont Blanc platinum fountain pen, and he just thunked down that titanium card, the one that's black and just kind of goes thud when it hits the ground, just made out of metal. Well, thank you. Best gift ever. I could have bought 2 of my first cars with it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's great. Jeepers creepers could be yikes or yipes. And okay, so we got a cable guy for Samuel Morse. Okay, now that's clever too. I think I'm starting to get it. We're just getting some of these things, common phrases. So a dictionary tag could be a variation, and this could be striven, gone to great lengths. A Victorian era prescription for melancholy. Fancy dues. Okay, so a bit of letter-shaped hardware could be a T-bolt, a U-bolt. Let's put bolt in and see what we got. This is a big thing with the crossword. You can always you can kind of go with what you got, and you kind of build it out slowly from there. So the duck in Peter and the Wolf. Future birthplace of Captain Kirk. Now we got an Iowa versus the Ames. And pest whose name is... Okay, we probably got a flea. I don't know anybody who would flee from a flea. Just probably... put one of those flea bombs or something, whatever they sell that does that stuff for you. So a Victorian era prescription for melancholy. Well, I think this might be sea air. We'll see if that helps. The duck in Peter and the Wolf is the oboe. Got it. Okay. Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. This could be a power couple. So fancy dudes are going to be quaffs, and I'm assuming solos at a party would be red solo cups, and so a U-bolt. All right, and I think we got through that one. It feels like everything is lined up nicely. So is this a power couple? Yes, it could be Iwo Jima. And count me out. I'm a no or I pass. One of the Fab Four. attended. Attended. Can't be went to. No. Was at. I was so beat up as a child about prepositions and not ending sentences and such, right? You know, I mean, to this day, I mean, you know, it's always, I got to think ahead about what I'm saying, you know. Is there something to which you're aiming? To, you know, that kind of, I mean, you know, I can't just say, what are you aiming at? You know, I can't do that, you know. But, it gets to some kind of goofy extremes on occasion too, though, right? You know, after all, Winston Churchill, I do believe, is accredited for saying, "This is something up with which I shall not put." That gets a little bit extreme, but nevertheless, I would rather do that. So I think we got John, Paul, George, and Ringo. I'm going to go with Paul. And they'll make it up to you. I think we got a power couple in here, though. And canned fuel. Cannon fuel. Canned fuel used in making fondue. How about sterno? That stuff always seems like a cool idea until you start getting, I mean, you got a lot of paraphernalia that goes, it's like smoking a pipe. You know, it's just not going to be an easy thing to do. You got to take all this crap with you, and it's just still a lot. I love smoking a pipe, though, but still. Count me out. Could be I pass, so Arabic greeting and farewell. That would be salam. And jelly you wouldn't pair with peanut butter. Maybe aspic. Probably so. They'll make it up to you. How about liars? Very funny. Starter, perhaps. Well, 4 letters and an S. Let's go with soup. Or as Bernie, the Vermont senator, would say, "I gotta have my soup." So, yeah, yes, sir, Senator. Got you taken care of. Senator Sanders, what's his soup? Summer camper's conveyance could be a canoe. Firmly establishes. So this could be in roots. I don't ever know how to pronounce root. Deposit that might gather interest. Very cute. Got ourselves an or here. Michigan in Chicago. Could be an avenue. Come out on top. Could be to prevail. Sir Edmund Hillary. Well, we know he spent time, you know, traversing and climbing mountains and all kinds of other stuff. So let's put mountain in there and see. Amelia Blank, Maid of Children's Literature. I'm going to have to get more on this. It's like Bedelia? I don't even know. I mean, I'm familiar. Like, I might recognize it once it's filled in. That's how familiar I am with it. Cantankerous captain of fiction could be Ahab. Call me Ishmael. By the way, it is time for me to reread Moby Dick, but I got a copy of Omar Khayyam's Rubaiyat yesterday, and I've got to go through that first. That's a quick read. It is a quick read. I mean, you know, it's a bunch of cantos. I mean, it's quatrains, right? It's not going to be a hard one, but I love the Rubaiyat, and I can't wait to get into that. But after that, I think it's time for Moby Dick. Time to revisit Moby Dick and then off to my Hemingway. Got to get some Hemingway in this year. I'm thinking reading The Movable Feast over the Christmas, Mahana, Kwanzaa, Festivus holidays. So, broadcast to squad cars. Could be car 54, where are you? APBs. All points bulletins. New York University, based in Manhattan. I'm assuming we're talking about the Pace Business School. Slim margin of victory could be by a hair of our chinny chin-chin, which is how I'm going to get through this grid, if I do, without fat fingering at a minimum today. Stumble or lurch could be too real. And so, 1 chain times 1 furlong. And I do believe this would be an acre. John James Audubon. Well, we know the Audubon Society is all about the birds, isn't it? So So is this Bedelia? I want to say it's Amelia Bedelia. Emmy-winning actor Ray Liotta. Just lost him this year, I think, or maybe it was it last year. But I gotta admit, I tell you what, I really thought that the Cocaine Bear was hilarious. I mean, I laughed the whole way through that movie. I think it was his last movie or penultimate movie. I'm not sure. Russian crepes could be blinis. Cheeky could be sassy. And one very fat colonel who said I was a cheeky fellow. Crazy Horse and fellow tribespeople. This would be the Aglatas. Don't get me to misspelling that today. Cattle calls. French fashion initials could be Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent. Made more enticing. But I don't have enough room for sexified. Sexed it up, mate. I don't know. I don't know what we got there. Cattle calls. Like mini Russian housing blocks. No idea. Okay. It's often rapped but never spoken. Actress Rollins could be Gina. Rapped. Never spoken. Maybe a gavel? Order! I say order in this court. Kind of a thing. Okay, so like many Russian housing blocks. Well, Shotzi's back.
I was talking to the kids.
She was talking to the kids. They're going to be there in like 5 days. They can hold their horses. Like many Russian housing blocks. Is this an O by any chance? What we got going on here? Made more enticing. Oglalas. I don't know why I get really nervous about spelling things that I don't spell an awful lot because I don't want to fat finger something and forget to check it. Outfit that may have a hood. An idealist. Geek out could be to nerd out, and boy, let me tell you, I certainly do my fair share of that. Rain on your wedding day, perhaps. So a great Alanis Morissette lyric for sure, but we'll go with an omen. And so the idealist would be basically me, a romantic. I am. I absolutely just not girded whatsoever in reality. Ever. Just college located in Cedar Rapids, and that would be Co-College. I think really wanted to go there, actually. There and Bard and Antioch were the schools I wanted to go to so terribly badly, but then I went to Texas Wesleyan and I was very happy. It's kind of the same thing. Small, private, liberal arts colleges that deliver a great education. I was like happy with that, right? Indian flatbread could be roti. And so, Orville and Wilbur Wright. Probably got air something going on here. Catherine of Best in Show and A Mighty Wind. And I think we're missing Schitt's Creek. Because I think this is O'Hara. I think she was in that as well. A urinal, according to Duchamp. First of all, yes, that was art. And no, it's not like Marcel Duchamp is just saying that a urinal was art. But, I mean, he made a urinal art, and it was. And it's a classic symbol for the Dada movement, which I am very much connected to. Oh, physically, emotionally. I mean, yeah, I'm a Dadaist for sure. For sure. So, farm share program, I think I've mentioned maybe CSA earlier. So, I look like we got a CD character here. Nullify would be to negate. And so, a character, I think that's an E there. Uncouth could be crass. And ellipses, okay, etc. So this could be this onesie here, right? We got a onesie with a hood, maybe with a hood. Cattle calls could be lows. And so I think made more enticing, maybe sweetened, if I'm conjugating that correctly. And the Russian housing blocks would be Soviet era. And let's see, hint could be a clue. Sister to Lex Luthor, Lena, got it. So let's check these others here. Remedies could be cures or panaceas across the board. Orville and Wilbur Wright could be airheads. That's kind of funny too. Something for canines to sink their canines into, and I'm assuming we're talking about a chew toy. So let's try that. Let's see what we get out of that. Trips around the sun would be years. Taxpayer IDs would be social security numbers. Church staple could be an organ. Theodore the First for one would be a czar. And Galileo Galilei would be a star witness. That's clever as all get out. Concerning In Re. Unexpected endings can be twists. And we have Sonic the Hedgehog Company, which is Sega. So do we have a mountain goat? He would have been the greatest of all time. I don't know if that's what we're doing. Grant a mortgage, say, maybe lend to. Let's try it. See if it'll work. I think we do have a mountain goat here. We can check this up at the top. Golly, that's cool. Pittsburgh to Buffalo direction. No, I feel like that would be north by northwest or north by northeast. So Pittsburgh to Buffalo, gonna be north by northeast. I'm going through the map in my head. You gotta give me a minute. I'm so sorry. So maybe that's neat. John James Audubon could be a bird brain, I guess. Seems like a really rough way to put that. Its showers bring flowers. What about April? Maybe they bring Mayflowers? May showers bring Mayflowers. A bear of very little brain would be Pooh Bear. And golly, that's cool. Oh, neat. Neato. Marvy. Groovy, man. Yeah, I think we just covered a lot of where one's trip begins. Point A. And lab provisions could be Alpo. And so instead of lend to, grant a mortgage, they could be to loan to. I am not happy with the prospects here. I feel like we had every opportunity to fat finger something in this ginormous grid. But let's just see how we did. How do we do, Bob? Woo! By the hair of the chinny chin chin, we did. That's great. I'm glad to see it. Don't get me wrong. That makes me happy. So this again, original thinkers, luminaries galore here. Probably, I mean, I don't even know how best to put it. This is among the finest Sunday puzzles we've had in years. It was nothing but a challenge. At every single turn, I had nothing in the upper northwest corner. That whole PNW area there it was blank almost the whole way through that grid. It wasn't until we had most of the rest of it done that we had enough for me to guess and go from where we needed to go from there. This was a tough grid, and and like I said earlier, I would literally, in fact, I've talked to Shotzi about this on many occasions, right? I would literally think it was hilarious if I ran into a puzzle that I couldn't solve. And I think it would be hilarious especially hilarious if it was a Monday or a Tuesday, especially when they get into a lot of the new pop culture stuff that I might not be too familiar with because, first of all, I live abroad. Secondly, things that are popular here aren't necessarily popular there, and whatever. They would be just great. The point is, everybody is human, and infallibility, I do not believe exists unless you're speaking about My Darling Bride. So, fantastic grid. too many amazing clue answer combinations to go digging them all out. I'll just say that it was absolutely a brilliantly constructed grid. Kate Jensen, brava. So very well done. Kudos to you. This is just gorgeous. I have to edit 2 new constructions of my own today and get those submitted. So it's going to be a work night. Nevertheless, beautiful grid. Well done. Let's bring in our Bannière Dadu. And this is our Sunday Bannière Dadu. It's no different than the Monday Bannière Dadu. It's just that we're using it on Sunday. So therefore, it's kind of like the Sunday Bannière Dadu. If you've not had a Negroni, I strongly suggest it. So, with that and all of that, we will be on the road. I don't know. Yeah, we'll be on the road, or we're going to be taking a train to Frankfurt and then getting on an airliner to head back to the States, I think Thursday. And so I'm going to get a few puzzles done from maybe some of the great puzzles of the past that I know I've done, but it's been so long that it will be like totally doing them again. So I have to go through and see what's available in the app so that we can do that and get a couple of days loaded up so that I can get on my feet when I get back to the States, when I get back to lower 48, and I can make sure that we get the new Christmas solves and stuff up. Looking so forward to that. Until we see you tomorrow for the Monday puzzle, which I do dearly look forward to. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. Arrivederci. Que tengas unos lindos días. Mas salamati. Annyeong hiaseo. And to all of our friends in Vietnam, Hen Gap Lai. Be well out there. Remember, be nice to strangers. Be nice to immigrants, right? They're very brave people. Those thick foreign accents they're speaking to you with, it's just proof that they're very brave people, willing to go and start a new life in a place where they don't even have the lingua franca. They don't even have that yet. They have no mastery of the language, right? Yet they're still doing that, and it's pretty gutsy stuff. We'll see you on tomorrow. Till then, be well. Cheers.